Good night, Shabbos, everyone. Shabbos Parshas Beha'aloscha. I'd like to start off with a question that we should all ask our families, our children, our friends, the Shabbos table, other times. And the question is a fundamental question. Why do we complain? Why does a person complain? Ever. So you'll say, because something is difficult, something is hard, I don't want to do it, and I'm being made to do it. I'm in a situation I don't want to be in. I'm exerting myself beyond what I feel I can do. I'm pushing myself too hard. So I complain it's too difficult. So we have to ask ourselves a question that when it's the bottom of the ninth inning and you're down by 3 runs and you're up there to bat, let's say you're down by 2 runs, right? And you hit the ball hard and you have to run and run and run. Everyone on the base has to run as fast as they can to get home to win the game. So are they going to complain that running was so hard? I wish I didn't have to do that. I wish I didn't have to run. You know, when finally the person makes that last sprint in the Olympics, in the race, and he gets to the finishing line and I wish I wouldn't have had to run so hard. A person complained about how hard the race was. There's a person complained how much he had to exert himself in the competition that he was in, and then he won. Or even if he didn't win, but definitely if he won, does he complain about how hard it is? So l'ch'oira, it's not correct to say that we complain when things are hard. That's the introduction to the idea I want to share with you. So we have here, as happens a number of times in the Jews' tenure in the desert, the 40 years in the desert, the Yidden complained, and it says in the beginning of Perek Yud Aleph, "Ve'yam kimis'oinenim ra ba'oznei Hashem." The Jews were like complainers, kimis'oinenim ra, evil complainers, be'enei Hashem, ba'oznei Hashem, in the ears of Hashem. Vayishma Hashem, vayicher apa, Hashem hears, and Hashem gets upset, that's what Psukim say. Vativ arbam eish Hashem, vatoichal b'ktzei hamachem. Right, the whole thing happens in one pasuk. Hashem gets Hashem gets angry, and the fire comes and eats them, and geendigt. That's finished. So the unique, besides that it's very short, the unique aspect about this episode is that it's very vague as to what's going on. It really doesn't tell us what they did. And the truth is the Cheskuni as well as the Ibn Ezra, they're mafarish, that kimis'oinim means oven. They said sinful things, but the psukim or the pasuk actually doesn't tell us what they said. Doesn't tell us what they did. The Ramban says it's hard to believe that the Torah is going to tell us they complained and not tell us the complaint. That's his taina on the Ibn Ezra's commentary on this pasuk. And the Ramban says that the Torah is not hiding what the complaint was. Why did the Torah hide what they complained about and not tell us, like the Torah tells us in every single other instance? So he says, well, it happens like this. They were nisrachit mehar Sinai, they left Har Sinai, which was Karav Liyusha, which was close to civilization. They came to this Midbar HaGadol HaNoira, this vast expanse of desert. And in the first trip they had, the first journey, they were mitztarin, ba'atzman loyman ma'nasa. What are we going to do? How can we survive in this desert? What are we going to eat? What are we going to drink? How are we going to be soivel? How are we going to endure the amol, the inui of this whole trip? It's going to be very difficult for us. How are we going to manage? It's a general lashon language of a person who's in pain, he's hurt, and he's mitzta'er over himself. He's pained over his predicament. Okay, that's what the Ramban says. They were mitzta'erin about themselves. So there was a general complaint about the situation they're getting themselves into. That was the complaint. If we look at Rashi, so Rashi says, Kim mis'oinenim, ein mis'oinenim el loshen alila. This was a libel. This wasn't a real complaint. It wasn't a real situation here. It was all just a fake complaint that wasn't based on reality. Just wanted to have some sort of excuse to leave a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Now, obviously, they themselves didn't realize that, but that's what Rashi is telling us subconsciously. They just wanted to find an excuse to run away from Hashem. Ra ba'oznei Hashem. To'ana shehi ra ba'oznei Hashem. It was a tinus, says Rashi, that was evil in the ears of Hashem. Shemiskabim shetavu ba'oznei v'yaknit. They were trying to instigate some situation and something where they'll have an excuse in their minds, at least a justification for leaving Hashem. They said, "Oy lanu kama labatnu b'derech hazeh." How much have we endured in this derech, in this way? We've been wandering around 3 days. We weren't able to relax, to rest. And that was Ra ba'oznei Hashem. That was bad, evil in the ears of Hashem, and therefore v'yichar apli. Hashem got upset. Rabbi Yerucham Levavitz, the Mashgiach in the Mir, explains that if a Bachar is traveling to Eretz Yisrael to learn in yeshiva, so lav dafka is he going to be complaining about how arduous the trip was. I mean, that's if you want to go, you're going for a good cause. A person's going for a wedding of a sibling, right? So they're traveling. So yeah, it could be it's a difficult derech. You're not going to spend the entire wedding, at least the healthy person won't, complaining about how difficult the trip was. Because we understand the trip's a trip. It's to get to an end. The Ramban says, it was Rabbeinu Hashem shayolahem laleches acharav b'simcha v'tuv levav. The test here was if the Yidden are going to follow Hashem with simcha, with contentment, with happiness, with a glad heart, with all the good Hashem gave them. Or are they going to be kanusim u'mochrachim u'misoyanim? Are they going to go begrudgingly? Are they going to go, you're going to have to pull them along? Misranim al inyanam. They're going to complain about the predicament. The aside here of this misoyanim, which I think applies to a tremendous extent to all of us, to learn from. And that is, we don't complain about things that are important to us. We don't complain about things that we actually believe in. We're giving a shir now, Hilchos Kibbut Avayim. So we discussed last week a situation where an elderly father needed to move in with his son. And the daughter-in-law tined that it'd be too hard for her. So Rabbi Schreck paskins, when he paskins in Chuvas Vanagas, and I was saying that let's say we tell this daughter-in-law that every week you have your father in the house, we give you $10,000. You have to take care of him still. You can't hire helpers. You have to take care of him as if you have no money. But every week, you deposit in your account $10,000. Would it be easier, 20,000, 50,000, whatever number you need, right? Then all of a sudden, okay, it's worth it. So the problem is that we don't realize the value of Torah and mitzvahs. We don't realize what Hashem does for us is always for our best. It's always for our benefit. So the derech becomes difficult. Says Rabbi Yerucham, if you're complaining about the derech, about the path, then I see you're not on my team. Because if you believe in what you do, if you believe in the cause, you're not going to complain. Someone was telling me now we're in the middle of COVID, and there's a big question down here in Florida if the camps are going to open up. And they are opening up, but with restrictions, and one of the camps in the area sent out a list of all the guidelines, and it's very, usually it's the bus, there's no bus, you can't do carpool. There's all these restrictions, and somebody was discussing that, and the spouse was saying that, okay, we'll make this work, we'll have to manage, this will go. In a normal circumstance, they would have said, I can't deal with this, it's too hard. They realized the necessity, the kids should be entertained in the summer. All of a sudden, we can deal with all the restrictions that the camp is imposing. So it's all the mindset. Often we find that it's challenging to get to Minyan. Shabbos I find challenging. Kibbut Avayim could be challenging. All these mitzvahs, all these restrictions that we have and expectations that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has of us, we find it challenging. But if you view it as running to get that double, so you can get running home to the home plate to win the game. If you can view it as that sprint that I'm going to get the gold medal in the Olympics, lahavdil. When I run, so all of a sudden the training and the running is no longer arduous, and I'm not going to complain about it. I might say, wow, it's hard, but it's not going to be a misoinanim. It's not going to be a person, as the Ramban says, who's mitzar al atzmai. When the Olympic gold medalist says it was so hard to train, he's not bemoaning his schwer and difficult predicament. He recognizes that it was essential for my growth. He recognizes that all that pain was for a greater good. So in our avodas Hashem, we have to realize that if we're complaining about the derech, there's a fundamental concept that needs to be fixed in our lives. And it's not not only to machazik ourselves in tefillah or to machazik ourselves in kibbutz adayim. It's to recognize it's a fundamental issue. And then once we have that recognition, we can be metapel with it and truly live lives that are dedicated to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to Avodas Hashem and Torah and mitzvahs, but not be mitzar al atzmeinu, not with bemoaning that nebuch, I'm doing this for the greater good, but really enjoying, as the Olympic gold medalist enjoys to an extent the pain that he went through to get to that milestone. We should all enjoy. Otherwise, we'd be considered the arduous derech. Wishing everyone a wonderful Shabbos.